And of course, for Utah State, just 24 hours ago, they were beating Wyoming convincingly on this floor, 88-70. San Diego State was practicing at the time in San Diego. They arrived early yesterday evening. And we'll see if there's a little spring in the legs of Utah State with the win yesterday. First possession, San Diego State. Trey Kell, the fabulous sophomore, who has been hot of late. This is Xylem Cheatham, and it's kicked away, tipped away, and here comes Utah State on the break. Shane Rector, Jalen Moore. It's a very good backcourt. Chris Smith as well. Rector runs the point.
Never seen Utah State play before. They don't get a lot of their points from inside players. They get it via the penetration and long-range jumpers.
And Moore scores over one of the best shot blockers and rim protectors in the conference, Skylar Spencer.
Great way to negate a shot blocker, go right at his body. That time Moore doing just that.
Malik Pope getting the start from San Diego State. He's played well lately. Shepard backing in. Kell takes a three and missed it. And the rebound to Lou Evans and Utah State's. Fatigue a factor for Utah State?
Well, you would think that it's got to be something that they're thinking about in the second half. I'm not quite sure that they're tired right now. These are young 18 to 22-year-olds, Rich. But I would think in the second half, if they do not substitute regularly, that would be an issue.
Only a three-man bench for Tim Duryea and Utah State, and a turnover. And San Diego State has the possession. We're just underway in Las Vegas.
Take a look at Moore again, being covered outside by Spencer. Spencer a little bit off balance. Moore taking it to the left all the way to the rim.
Great, great afro. Oh. That's 4 years in the making with a few trims.
Where does he get his hair care products from? That's what I want to know.
Of course, his dad, Jimmy, a great player at Utah State and on the athletic department staff. This is Kell off a screen and a baseline drive. Blocked. Lou Evans knocks it away. And the Aggies with the lead and the ball. Rector. Evans in low, and Utah State with a nice start. A 4-0 lead.
Couldn't ask for a better start after the Aggies right now, particularly on a neutral site and a team that you've lost to twice this year. Rich, it's awfully hard to beat a team 3 times. Right now, Utah State playing as well as they've played early on.
And playing man-to-man. A lot of teams have zoned San Diego State this year. Cheatham driving over Evans. Missed it. Evans the rebound. Numbers, because Cheatham is still back in the backcourt.
This is a team, San Diego State, that shoots 42.3% from the field. So if you can make them a half-court team, they've got to knock down shots.
Smith misses a three. And the ball knocked out of bounds, and it goes Utah State's way. Skylar Spencer doesn't like the call.
Take a look at it from underneath. Here's the drive. No contact, and then the block leads to the other end of the floor. Good offense. Good pass inside right now. 4-0 lead for the Aggies.
And this is exactly what Tim Duryea was hoping for. Come out, throw the first punch. And they've done that with a 4-0 lead.
And if you're Steve Fisher right now, you're worried because a team like Utah State is going to get more and more confident as long as you allow them to hang in this ball game. Thus far, not only do they have the lead, but they look like they're feeling pretty good about their game.
Rector. Pope has the rebound. Aztecs like to run off a missed shot. Even though they've got 4 bigs out on the floor, although Dakari Allen has joined the group. Allen, a big guard and their defensive stopper.
See, not a lot of switching on pick and rolls because there's not a lot of shooters that you've got to pay that much attention to.
Pope can shoot it, and he hits a 3.
Good ball movement, and again, Pope out there with nobody closing out on him. He's long enough to shoot over most defenders, that time with space.
Aztecs finished their season with 2 big wins. Rector, Moore's 3. It's short. He's missed twice from that corner. Rector, the kid from the Bronx, with a steal, the dish. Evans blocked. Pope got it. Allen with the left hand, and he's fouled. And that is why San Diego State is one of the premier defensive teams in the country.
Take a look at them on both ends of the floor here. Here's the steal. Aggies at an advantage, quickly taken away. And then you mentioned it, Rich, Aztecs not waiting for anybody, pushing the tempo, collecting the foul.
Dakari Allen gets 2 free throws. And the Aztecs at 16-2 in the conference. Their last 2 opponents they absolutely demolished. They beat UNLV by 36. They beat New Mexico on the road by 27. And that was after the stunning collapse against Boise State, in which San Diego State had a 7-point lead with a minute left, or actually a 9-point lead with a minute left. Shepard, he's fouled, and he gets free throws.
And that's a killer when you don't block out, and Shepard's a guy who anticipates the miss. He's not assuming that every free throw is going in. That's his advantage. Also his hard work helping him get that inside position.
That's a couple early fouls on Quinn Taylor, the freshman big for Utah State. So he's got 2. Shepard shoots free throws. Since that collapse against Boise State, the Aztecs have been really, really angry and good. As Taylor checks out, Elston Jones is in for Utah State.
Expect if they make this, perhaps to pick up in 3/4 court, maybe even full court, anything to pick up the tempo here and try to force some turnovers by the Aggies. Can't pick up now.
So a 5-4 San Diego State lead. Utah State, the 9 seed. They beat the 8 seed Wyoming yesterday. Smith in the corner. This is a hard team to penetrate against.
It is, and it's also a hard team to complete passes, because if you're 1 pass away, they deny so well.
It's an emergency 3, and a great sequence from San Diego State.
Evans forced to take that, but that's not his offensive rhythm. Utah State, that last exchange looked like it was San Diego State dictating to them.
Kell penetrates. Hope again. And Kell, a great rebounding guard at 6'4", the sophomore out of San Diego.
Coach Derrier talked to us before the matchup about how they cannot, San Diego State, be allowed to play volleyball along the glass. That time they get the 2nd offensive board.
Allen driving again, and this rebound is sucked up by Elston Jones.
Good one and done that time. See what they can manufacture here on offense.
It was tipped, and it stays with Utah State. Quarterfinal day in the Mountain West Conference. The 9 seed Utah State hunting for an upset over San Diego State. A lot of college basketball being played on a beautiful day in Las Vegas. 5-4 San Diego State on top of Utah State. Let's check in with Evan Washburn. Evan?
Well, Rich, Jeremy Hensley, San Diego State's leading scorer for the 6th straight game, is coming off the bench. He's been dealing with a right foot bruise that has severely affected his minutes. I spoke with the staff earlier. He hasn't been able to practice. He's been utilizing a walking boot. But with this circumstances for this team in the tournament, not just the Mountain West tournament, but the possible NCAA tournament, he will be utilized as much as possible. But with trying to get 3 wins in 3 days, it's definitely something to keep an eye on, guys.
All right, Evan, thank you. Our icy hot player profile and injury report. So you look at Hemsley, still 13 points a game. He's come off the bench in 6 straight, and the freshman of the year in the Mountain West Conference. And the backcourt is really good and really young for San Diego State. He's in with Dakari Allen right now, off the timeout. Utah State in a bit of a drought. They scored the first 4 points of the game. And they've gone scoreless for almost 4 minutes. Rector shot, and he's fouled. Hemsley got a hand on it.
May have gotten a little bit more than a hand. Officials finding him guilty. Hemsley happens to be, Rich, from one of my favorite towns to pronounce. Rancho Cucamonga.
Absolutely.
If I lived there, I would tell everybody where I was from. It just rolls right off the tongue.
Rector misses a free throw. What a path for Rector to get here. From the Bronx, you see what he did against Wyoming, a career high. Then to Missouri, then to Miami-Dade Community College, then to Logan, Utah, and here he is in Las Vegas. the junior, has had a really nice year.
9th most assists in conference play and 10th most steals. So he's giving it to you on both ends of the floor, playing that huge initiator spot on both ends.
Angelo Chol into the ballgame for San Diego State, the transfer from Arizona. This is Shepard against Moore. Moore, a versatile guy. Hemsley to the rack, and he scores. Sore foot and all, he's played well down the stretch.
Strong enough also to absorb some of that contact and create enough space to get that shot up.
And a foul.
Take a look at it again from up high. See the defense on him kind of gets brushed off by his strength. He's able to finish that.
Angelo Chol with that foul, his first, team second. And a 2-point lead for San Diego State. As the 1 seed, and as we mentioned, a lot to prove to the country. This is year 17 of the Mountain West, and the conference champion has gone to the tournament. The regular season champion has gone to the tournament every year of the league's existence. A foul there. And for San Diego State, they did not have a great non-conference. They opened the season at 7-6. But Steve Fisher did something that a lot of coaches would not do. He benched his seniors, including Winston Shepard, who means so much to the program. Sat him down, sat the regulars down. And that lit a fire, and the Aztecs since ripped off a 16-2 run in the Mountain West. Now their resume looks like this. RPI is at 42. Ken Palm, another service which the folks look at, that's in the 30s. One top 50 win. It's a good one, though, against a surging Cal team. Evans with the free throw, and Utah State within a point.
Evans that time given a lot of room and many dribbles to operate. Good thing happened, whether it was a bucket or free throws.
Darius Perkins in the ball game. Right now he's mismatched down low against Winston Shepard, and Evans gets a hand on a pass. Another turnover for San Diego State.
Had Shepard wide open. You've got to make sure you deliver that inside.
Evans a three, hits it. A clean look, and Lou Evans, the junior out of Salt Lake City, puts Utah State back on top.
Transfer from Tulsa. Showed you a couple of trips down earlier how he can post up. That time Rich giving us some versatility with the face-up knockdown.
Hemsley and Allen in the backcourt. Shepard, Chol, and Cheatham for the Aztecs. Hemsley, really the only initiator in that group. And Moore comes away with it.
San Diego State right now struggling to find some range, even close under the basket.
Perry launches a three, and a long rebound is run down by Darius Perkins. 3 members of Utah State's bench in the game, and that's as deep as they go. They only go with 3 bench players.
And that's going to be something to consider as you move forward if they're fortunate enough to advance past today. Fatigue starts to set in back-to-back nights.
Jones misses over Chol. Shepard starts his drive. Draws contact, hits the shot, and has a shot at a 3-point play.
Nice pump fake, gets the defender up. I know it's tempting to block shots, but if you're Evans, very small chance of you blocking that shot. Just keep your hands up, contest it. That time he bites, gives up in the air, comes down on Shepard. Easy no-brainer that time for the official.
So Shepard, who is such a unique player, length, size. Growing up, he was a guard. He always wanted to be a guard so he can handle the ball. He is the best passer on this team. He leads the team in assists. Misses the free throw, but Allen hustles in, draws a foul, and again on the boards, San Diego State trying to, and starting to, flex those muscles.
You talked about Shepard being their leading assist guy. He's also the leading rebounder, so it shows you his versatility, more importantly, his importance to his team. When you lead them in 2 very different categories, all of a sudden you find yourself irreplaceable out on the floor.
Trey Kell is in. You saw Matt Shrigley come in as well. So better shooters on the floor right now for San Diego State. You got 3 guys who can hit from outside. Cheatham from inside, missed it. Spencer, his shot blocked.
Pump fakes by both teams seem to be a good approach because lively bodies right now. Everybody's chomping at the bit to get a block shot. See the good last line of defense by the Aggies. More that time.
Kell, Hemsley, and Shrigley in that backcourt.
2-3 zone by Aggies.
And they started man-to-man. Cheatham emerging a little more offensively. Kell, deep three. And he missed it. San Diego State just 1 of 4 from distance.
Pump fake and a drive when a defender is closing out under control. Good backdoor.
And Perry from Moore. Aggies by 2. And the longer they hang around, as you said from the outset, the more confidence they seem to pick up.
They will not be the same team coming out of the locker room at halftime once they find themselves in the ball game that even they, in the back of their minds, expected to be down early.
Hemsley misses. Smith cleans it up. And the Aggies with a 2-point lead and a possession. Smith in traffic. Perry launches and hits. Julian Perry with 2 buckets. And Utah State is up 5 on the 1 seed, San Diego State.
A much better shooting team compared to the 42% for the Aztecs. This is a 45% shooting team, 37% from beyond the arc. The Aggies shoot the ball well.
Kell to Cheatham, who missed the dunk, but is fouled by Jones.
Well, Rich, you couldn't ask for a better start if Utah State. Your offense is clicking. Look at the nice little back door, and then the good ball movement, the swing around, step in, the knockdown from the baseline.
Our lows look at their tips, tools, and success. Look at San Diego State first 29 games. Last 2 games, they have been dominant, but Evan Washburn, that's not been the case today.
And that was some concern in their meeting last night. Winston Shepard addressed the team. He knew with a noon local start, this team's used to playing night games, not a full house, that he was worried about the team's energy coming into this game. So I've seen on this sideline, Winston Shepard is consistently trying to get these guys to bring more energy. Also, one note, guys, Malik Pope's been out for a bit. He's got a laceration on his lower lip. Doesn't seem to be a concern, but something to keep an eye on.
All right, thank you, Evan. Utah State played yesterday. They were in rhythm. They hit 11 threes. They played a great game and dominated Wyoming. There seems to be some carryover.
And I'm reminded of the 2010 UConn team that wound up having to win 5 of their conference games in the Big East and then the 6 tournament games. So there is something to be said for staying in rhythm and not allowing yourself a time off to lose that. But at the same time, you're battling fatigue all the time. How do you handle that? Some teams handle it differently.
First of 4 on CBS Sports Network. A busy day, quarterfinal day in the Mountain West Conference. And Cheatham.
Here's the pickup. And it's not your token pickup. They are looking to get some traps and some steals once they bring it past half court. Fall back into half court deep.
Jalen Moore, Chris Smith back in. Perry's been hot. His drive. And that's a problem. You can get to the rim, but when you get there, Skylar Spencer is waiting.
Pretty good rotation as well. That time Shrigley coming back on that penetration, deflecting it. May have actually jammed his finger. Shrigley shrugging it off.
Shrigley just happy to be out there. A knee surgery, and he's finally back in. He's starting to shoot it a little better. He's a great 3-point weapon. Shot clock is running down. Smith doesn't see it. Taylor gets it off late.
That's the second time that's happened here in the first half where they've had to hurry a shot at the end of the good 30-second defensive stance. Coach Fisher loving it.
Tim Duryea not real pleased. Maybe if that possession was in front of the Utah State bench, they would have been a little more alert. As it is, see the turnovers, not a lot of them. Cheatham going hard and more, swats it away. Kell step back, missed. Spencer fights for the rebound. Great sequence by Utah State, who is outsized and outmuscled underneath.
Right now, they're winning all the hustle points and getting all the loose balls as well.
This is Moore. San Diego State defense so long, so good. Moore on the cut, and he's fouled. And a good look by Darius Perkins, who found him coming down the lane.
Well, it's normally San Diego State that likes to play great defense and get points off of it, but it's the Aggies. Moore underneath the basket. Hair flopping. Good rejection.
So Jalen Moore, the junior out of North Logan, hits the first. Never miss a moment of college basketball, especially for the next month, right? CBS Sports app. Every play, every score, every game, every highlight right as it happens on the CBS Sports app. Download it now. Jalen Moore, when he walked into his old coach's office, Stu Morrill with that afro thought the coach was going to tell him to cut his hair, but Morrill was an old school guy, surprised him and said, "Hey, I like that. It reminds me of when I played. Keep the afro."
Superfly.
And then he showed him the tight shorts that they used to wear, and Moore said, I'll stick with the afro.
Yeah. I'll keep the afro, coach.
Cheetah missed it. And it's tipped back out. San Diego State. Shepard. Winston Shepard rising above.
That was a nice little release in tight spots, in a tight space, and something to keep an eye on. Shepard running back with a little bit of a limp here.
Rector too many steps. Winston Shepard with 5 points to lead San Diego State.
Let's try to see what happened to him as well. He looks like he's favoring his right leg. That was his landing leg on that exchange. Now he's on the bench, and it is his right foot.
He's got a great trainer with him, Tom Abdenauer, longtime NBA trainer with the Golden State Warriors.
His brother Mike is still with the Detroit Pistons. Both of the Abdenauers, we go way back. Abdelnabis and Abdenauers.
High-low, Spencer to Pope. How sweet is that? That's the one thing about San Diego State. They're big and long, but their bigs can handle the basketball.
And it was a great seal, a good look. But I'm talking about that seal underneath. That time it was Malik Pope putting his hand up, giving the passer a target. Nice little hesitation on that fake. Evans gets the foul.
And Quinn Taylor has to come out. His third personal foul. Remember, Utah State is not real deep. They have a three-man bench. And, of course, they played yesterday and wiped out Wyoming.
Check that. It was Taylor, not Evans. My mistake, partner. On the foul.
Rector.
Tough shot.
Yeah, not a pretty-looking shot, but he's going to get 3 free throws. Steve Fisher quick to disagree. It was right in front of the San Diego State bench.
But that was such a high-risk, low-percentage shot that there's absolutely no reason to foul here. If you're Cale, that's a forced shot. And don't play along, certainly don't play into his hands. Cale that time helping out.
Officials quickly checking to make sure it was a 3 or not, and it is 3 free throws. Rector's form here, and I want your opinion on this, is not pretty, but it's effective. 77% free throw shooter. The average is close to 10 a game. How about that? Huh?
Brings it across his body as he swings it up, and then he kind of shoots it for a righty over his left shoulder. Very unique, different approach. Hey, I guess if it works for you, big guy, go for it.
If you want to go way, way back, Jamal Wilkes had a similar shot.
He had a funky release as well, but when he finally released it, it was straight over his head. Cale, I should say, Rector, with a little bit of an angle.
Google him, kids.
Exactly. And it's Jamal Wilkes. It used to be Keith Wilkes.
Great player at UCLA and in the NBA with the Golden State Warriors. All right, San Diego State down 3. This is Cheatham. Missed on the baseline. Spencer. And Moore cleans it up.
Point blank range. You've got to, if you're on a team that struggles to shoot the ball, you've got to make those count.
Moore driving with the left hand. A sweet move by Jalen Moore. and Utah State back up 5.
Doesn't seem to be deterred by Skylar Spencer's presence in the lane.
Pope a step back 3.
And you can see how San Diego State doesn't waste any time, even off of made buckets. They're looking to push it.
Boy, when Malik Pope is shooting it, San Diego State is a much different team. He adds so much.
Well, he's out on the perimeter to play along with Spencer. You've got to respect that jumper.
Ooh, Chris Smith. Utah State is not shy about attacking the rim right now. A lot of San Diego State fans are here. They've sold out 72 consecutive games at Viejas Arena, which holds over 12,000. One of the great followings in the West in college basketball.
And I remember Coach Fisher telling me years ago that when he first got on campus at San Diego State that he'd have to walk around and hand out tickets for free, just trying to talk people, convince them to come into his games. Boy, have things changed.
Perry hits a 3, and Utah State in rhythm with confidence on top of the #1 seed, their biggest lead of the game, up 7.
From McKinney High School, McKinney, Texas. McKinney North High School, I should say, where he averaged 17 points as a senior.
And that will go. Strong move to Kari Allen.
We'll take a look at both teams on the offensive end of the floor. What's brought us to a 7-point lead, it's Smith and then Allen with the finish.
CBS Sports has your Selection Sunday covered. Bracket is revealed live on CBS 5:30 Eastern with the NCAA Basketball Championship Selection Show. Don't miss extended coverage before and after right here on CBS Sports Network. NCAA March Madness Bracket Breakdown is presented by Reese's. You can see the clock. 3 days, 1 hour and 51 minutes.
John
Let's check.
Rothstein monitoring that.
Oh, yeah, Jerry Palm going crazy. Let's check in with Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, Winston Shepard, San Diego State's leading rebounder, suffered a sprained ankle around the 9-minute mark. Now, I've been told that he is expected to return. He's currently in the San Diego State locker room. He did not get any tape on that ankle while on the sideline. Obviously, you can see they're testing the resistance and strength. He did some light jogging in the tunnel. Again, he's expected to return, but is currently back in the locker room. We'll keep you up to date as we know more.
All right, thank you, Evan. Steve Fisher, San Diego State as the #1 seed, playing the 9 seed, and it's Utah State by 5. The Aggies had a terrific game yesterday. They were 11 of 12 from distance yesterday. They've hit 3 threes in this one. And Tim Duryea, a first-year coach, is the first Utah State coach to win his first conference tournament game since 1962. And the legend Liddell Anderson was at Utah State at the time. There's some great coaches at Utah State. Obviously, Stu Morrill.
Trying to establish his culture in his first year.
Larry Eustachy with a stop there. Here's that press, and it's broken nicely. Rector on the move, give it off, and at the rim, Lou Evans finishes. And a steal, Rector.
San Diego State a little sloppy with the inbounds. Take a look at them with numbers here in transition. Evans with the finish, but the advantage coming off of their defense and off the inbounds. A little bit sloppy that time. Not paying attention was Cheatham.
Rylan Cheatham with the foul, and now Rector with that unique free throw style has stretched Utah State's lead to 7.
Yeah, he shoots 75.4% from the line. So until he starts missing, I'm going to let him do his thing.
8-point Utah State lead. We're under 6 minutes left. First half, and the Aggies back in their zone.
Little 2-3, trying to limit penetrations just like that. You don't want to get inside the lane.
Malik Pope with 2 hands.
That's a killer for Coach Duryea, because when you do give him a different look, you're trying to, or at least hoping that the other team stumbles when reacting. That time looked pretty aggressive and knew exactly where to go.
Perry, little pick. And pop. Evans drives. Again, contact, no whistle. And Evans finishes again.
Evans now attacking from both the perimeter and that time The jump shot previously set up that little drive for him, able to get all the way to the rim.
Evans with 8 for Utah State. And the lead is 8. Hemsley, Allen, and this is Kell. Knifing in, and it drops. First 2 points for Trey Kell.
Not an easy shot that time, partner. Shepard made one just as difficult inside the lane. Kell using every bit of that soft rim.
Rector, point guard out of the Bronx, throws up a floater and a rebounding foul. It looks like Lou Evans was on somebody's back. And that's 3 on Evans. My goodness. Quinn Taylor and Lou Evans, the 2 starting bigs for Utah State, have 3 personal fouls.
This is a team that doesn't have a lot of inside strength, so to speak, anyway. They do not have a lot of interior points produced. Those inside players, despite playing the 4 and the 5, are predominantly perimeter players.
We've got New Mexico and Nevada following this one, and later on tonight, Andrew Catalon, Steve Lapis are by. Fresno State is hot right now. They take on UNLV, who took 3 overtimes. Look at that score on the left. 3 overtimes, a 108-102 win over Air Force yesterday. And then Boise State, Colorado State, all games here on CBS Sports Network. San Diego State now climbs within 4. Rector gets it across.
Brought it over slowly, therefore no traps were able to be produced by San Diego State.
Elston Jones is in as the lone big for Utah State. Perry with a right hand. My goodness, few teams attack the rim with success against San Diego State, but Utah State is doing it.
And they've been able to get to the rim time and time again. That time off the curl, Perry able to get all the way to the heart of the D. Keeping the ball on one side. They're not swinging it, San Diego State. There's a good idea.
Allen baseline drive, and he finishes. Dakari Allen with some good minutes off the bench.
Swinging the ball allows the defense to move and perhaps probe the back of the defense. In other words, you swing it all the way around, you get a chance to look at it from a different angle.
San Diego State fans starting to make some noise. Rector. Boy, Perry's been really good off the bench. 10 points to lead Utah State.
Guy who averages 7.7 right now, kind of overproducing.
Shot clock running down. And Rector just threw it up towards the rim. And a chance to cut even closer for the #1 seed, San Diego State. Malik Pope, the leading scorer for San Diego State. He's got 10, including a pair of 3s. Hemsley. Chol trying to post up. Chol, the lefty, and he's fouled. Jones. His 3rd personal foul. Winston Shepard, sore heel and all, coming back when we get back. Time now to do Game Day Right, and it's brought to you by LG.
I got to get you one of those outfits.
That's right, the Aztecs are here. Got the good luck beads going. Hey, a little Wyoming love, even though they went down yesterday. 33-29, Utah State, the 9 seed on top of the 1 seed. From hoops to hockey, diamond to the gridiron. Most outrageous morning team has you covered. Don't miss Boomer and Carton. Weekday mornings, start at 6 Eastern on CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. I am sitting next to a renowned big from Duke, Ala Abdelnaby. What happens when all 3 of your bigs with a short bench have 3 fouls in the first half?
Well, with under 3 minutes left to go, you've certainly got to address that shortcoming. However, this is a team, Utah State, that gets a lot of their scoring from the perimeter. So you don't worry about them offensively, but without those guys in, how do they play defense and become stout, in particular in the painted area?
Now, Elston Jones, who has 3, is in the game. So Tim Duryea is going to, I know it's Vegas, but he's going to gamble a little bit and hope that he doesn't pick up his 4th before this half ends. Full court pressure, 3-point game. Rector spins away. He's done a nice job handling the ball. Smith launches. And now all of a sudden San Diego State has momentum.
The helter-skelter here. San Diego State picking up the tempo, and it didn't seem like Utah was in a good position to handle that. They seemed like they were allowed to be sped up a little bit here.
Shepard in the post.
That room.
Jones has got 3 fouls, and he goes right by him.
Nice little hesitation with the step through that time, Rich. No help came. Had, like we talked about, plenty of room and many dribbles.
Aztecs 5 of their last 5. Aggies trying to match this run. It was an 8-point lead. Now it's down to 1. Smith in trouble. And a turnover. Allen with Kell. And Richter with a hard foul. My goodness. Yeah, there was no doubt. When you're from the Bronx and you're protecting the rim, you leave no doubt.
That's a New York City foul. Take a look at Shepard first with plenty of room. You see the defense thinking about coming, but they just don't. Kept his pivot foot down, and then in transition, Kell with the demonstrative foul.
That's close. And the first free throw is off by Dakari Allen. Now, into the ball game is Quinn Taylor. If you're a big and you've got 3 fouls, how do you play out there?
Well, you've got to be judicious. In other words, if you're going to have an offensive player on you and he's pump faking right underneath the basket, you let him have those buckets. Because why? Your presence out on the floor is more important than any 2 points that the other team can score.
Rector thought about a 3. Penetrates, lost the ball, and it's a turnover. And San Diego State can take the lead with a bucket here. 1.5 left, first half.
Take a look at it again. Here's Rector. There's the help. That's called a fake trap, folks. He comes in and sends them to help. The good hand leading to the turnover. That is team man-to-man defense. People, when you talk about man-to-man defense, they forget the team part. Everybody on a string.
Kell Shepard with a dunk. And the Aztecs are attacking inside right now on a vulnerable Utah State team. Up the floor, Taylor missed the layup. San Diego State ball.
And that's a killer because Taylor had an advantage gained with the pass ahead. Take a look at the other end. The penetration in the heart of the defense, never good, leading to the pass to Shepard and the flush.
And a timeout. Aztecs have momentum, and now they have the lead. Just under a minute left in this first half. And of course, when we get to halftime, AT&T at the half. What a great day to be in the studio with all the college basketball going on, and we'll get you all the highlights. Brent Stover, Gary Parrish, the Mountain West zone, a New Mexico Lobo, Danny Granger is in there, and Jerry Palm will be crunching the numbers as well. It's AT&T at the half. And he might be crunching the numbers on the last 4 in. Now this changes daily, it sounds like. UConn, Vandy, Tulsa, and George Washington.
Mike Lonergan's team and George Washington has had themselves an up and down inconsistent season. I happen to believe that they're better than their record shows and indicates.
San Diego State would look at that right column and they say, wait a minute, look at those RPIs.
Indeed. You got to think of strength of schedule and the conference from which they play in.
Tell you what, one thing that should help them, road wins. They've been outstanding on the road this year.
And we talked about it driving up to the arena today. San Diego State 8-1 on the road. I don't care what conference it is and however the year is going for that conference. 8-1 on the road against conference foes. Darn impressive.
Chol hits a shot. And a nice run right now. A 9-0 run by the Aztecs and a 3-point lead headed towards the half.
Well, and heading into the locker room, they're going to feel better about themselves, but you better believe Coach Fisher's not going to let them off the hook. He's going to insist that they play the way they finished the first half, starting the second.
Nice feed. The entry from Rector, and Quinn Taylor finishes. So it's a 1-point lead, and the last shot, it seems, from San Diego State. Kell, Allen,
Tough
A
shot.
three, missed it. And at the half, the 1 seed with a 1-point lead over the 9 seed on quarterfinal day in the Mountain West Conference. San Diego State trying to get to the NCAA tournament for the 7th consecutive year. Let's check in with Evan Washburn. He's with Steve Fisher.
Attack you in the interior a little bit in that first half. How do you best defend that in the second?
We got better as the half went along. You got to keep a guy in front of you and not command help so they can kick for what they want. But as the half went on, we got better on both sides of the ball, both with our offense and our defense.
Offensively, what was the best version of your offense in that first half?
Well, when we moved the ball and we didn't get impatient, we took it from one side to the other, then put your eyes on the rim, they run at you, drive, and make a play off of it.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Evan. Steve Fisher and San Diego State, 3 wins from the dance. But right now, Utah State is not going away. AT&T at the half is coming up. 1-point lead, halftime in the Mountain West.